Everyone thinks of Home Alone as the ultimate holiday comfort movie, full of laughs, booby traps, and Christmas magic. But behind the scenes, this family comedy almost collapsed several times, nearly injured its actors, and even hid some shocking secrets that fans never knew. From life-threatening stunts to unexpected scandals, the truth behind Home Alone is way stranger than the movie itself. So today we're diving into the untold stories, wild rumors, and hidden facts that prove Home Alone was not just a Christmas movie, it was a Hollywood miracle. The casting gamble. When you think of Kevin McAllister, you picture Macaulay Culkin. But here's the twist. The role wasn't just offered to him, it was literally written for him. Writer and producer John Hughes had worked with Culkin before, in Uncle Buck back in 1989. Hughes saw something special in this rascal of a kid and built the role of Kevin around his mischievous charm. But here's the catch. Director Chris Columbus still auditioned over 200 kids for the role. Why? Because he wanted to be sure Hughes wasn't blinded by bias. Columbus later admitted that he owed it to himself to explore every option. He met talented child actors, but none of them had that unpredictable spark. Then came Culkin, and he nailed it. From his improvised lines like, "Do you guys give up? Or are you thirsty for more?" to inventing ways to mess with the burglars, Culkin gave Kevin a voice that was sharper than anything written on paper. And yet, nobody realized that this little casting gamble would make Culkin the most powerful child star in Hollywood within just a few short years. The $1 Million Kid. Macaulay Culkin earned a modest $110,000 for Home Alone. Not bad for an 8-year-old. But by the time Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, came around in 1992, Culkin's paycheck had skyrocketed. He negotiated $4.5 million, plus a slice of the box office. And since the sequel raked in over $350 million worldwide, that slice gave him nearly $18 million more. This made him one of the richest child actors in history at the time. But success came at a cost. His relationship with his father grew strained, with public disputes over money and control. By the age of 14, Culkin decided to step away from acting altogether, burned out before he even hit high school. Still, he had cemented himself as a legend. Few child actors before or after reached that level of fame, and it all started with the role Hughes practically handed to him. The stunts that should have killed them. We all laugh when Harry and Marv take blowtorches to the head or slip on icy stairs, but if you stop to think about it, Kevin McAllister was basically a child-sized supervillain. Doctors have actually broken down the traps and their real-life consequences. For example, the red-hot iron that smashed into Marv's face would have caused orbital bone fractures and left him blind in one eye. The paint can swinging down the staircase? Enough force to shatter a skull and knock out teeth instantly. The flaming blowtorch on Harry's scalp? Severe third-degree burns. No one is just brushing that off with a scream. Director Chris Columbus admitted that while shooting, he sometimes thought, "These guys are dead." But since stunt performers kept walking away barely, the audience laughed instead of cringing. And here's a shocking truth. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, who played the Wet Bandits, often did some of the gags themselves, meaning real injuries weren't far off. But the most terrifying stunt of all didn't involve fire or flying paint. It involved something much, much creepier. The tarantula terror. That giant tarantula crawling across Marv's face? Yep, it was real. Daniel Stern, who played Marv, had one request before filming the scene: remove the spider's stinger. But the crew refused, saying it would kill the tarantula. His response? "Yeah, but if you don't take it out, I'll die." After some convincing, Stern reluctantly agreed. He let them place the tarantula on his face for one single take. But here's the kicker. He had to stay perfectly still. No screaming, no flinching. If he startled the spider, it might bite. So Stern mimed his blood-curdling scream, and the sound was added in later. He later admitted the fear was so intense, he felt his soul leave his body for a second. That one take became iconic, burned into the memory of every Home Alone fan, and it proves that sometimes the scariest danger on set doesn't come from fire or ice, but from 8 hairy legs. Joe Pesci's method acting gone wrong. Joe Pesci is known for his gangster roles from Goodfellas to Casino. But to make his performance in Home Alone believable, he decided to avoid Culkin off camera. Why? He wanted the little boy to be genuinely afraid of him. And it worked a little too well. During rehearsal for a scene where Harry threatens Kevin, Pesci accidentally bit Culkin's finger hard enough to break the skin. To this day, Culkin still has a faint scar. For an 8-year-old kid, working alongside one of the most intimidating actors in Hollywood was already nerve-wracking. Add in a surprise bite, and you've got a story that still shocks fans decades later. But behind all this chaos, the real danger wasn't just in the performances, it was in the money battles behind the scenes. The budget battle that almost killed the movie. Believe it or not, Home Alone almost never happened. Originally, Warner Brothers was set to produce the film, but when the budget ballooned past $10 million, the studio pulled the plug and walked away. For a moment, the entire project was dead. That's when 20th Century Fox swooped in and saved the day. They saw the potential and agreed to finance it. The rest, as they say, is history. But even with Fox backing, the production struggled. Snow is essential for a Christmas movie, but natural snow was unreliable. The crew brought in snow machines, truckloads of shaved ice, and even mashed potato flakes to fake the winter wonderland. And then, on Valentine's Day of 1990, a massive real snowstorm hit Chicago, gifting the production with perfect winter scenery just when they needed it most. From near cancellation to a lucky break by Mother Nature, Home Alone was balancing on the edge of disaster before it became a holiday classic, breaking records and making history. When Home Alone finally hit theaters in November of 1990, nobody expected it to dominate the way it did. Opening weekend brought in $17 million. It stayed at number 1 for 12 straight weeks, refusing to leave the top 10 until the following summer. Worldwide, it earned nearly $500 million, $476 million to be exact. For over 25 years, it held the Guinness World Record as the highest-grossing live-action comedy. It wasn't until 2017, when a Chinese film called Never Say Die came out, that Home Alone finally lost the crown, and the legacy only grew. In 2023, the Library of Congress selected Home Alone for preservation in the National Film Registry, officially recognizing it as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. But perhaps the strangest legacy of all comes from Poland, where Home Alone became a Christmas ritual. Every year, millions of families tune in to watch Kevin defend his house. In 2018, more than 4.5 million Poles watched the movie on Christmas Eve, a tradition that continues to this day. But while the world embraced the film, one person quietly avoided it. Macaulay Culkin can't watch it. Fans around the world play Home Alone every December. For many, it's not Christmas without Kevin. But for Culkin himself, it's a movie he rarely revisits. He explained that when he watches it, he doesn't see the story. Instead, he remembers the days on set hiding soda behind the couch, waiting between takes, and reliving the grind of child stardom. In 2018, he admitted to Ellen DeGeneres that he doesn't really sit down to watch the film. To him, it's background noise, part of everyone else's holiday, not his. But here's the heartwarming twist. His children love it. His oldest son even insists that he was the one who slid down the stairs on a sled or fought off burglars. Culkin laughs and lets them believe the fantasy. In a way, the torch has passed. That's the strange irony of Home Alone. The star himself can't fully enjoy it, Yet the movie continues to enchant new generations, even in his own home. Conclusion: Home Alone wasn't just a movie. It was a miracle of timing, casting, improvisation, and sheer luck. From Joe Pesci's accidental bite to Daniel Stern's brush with a tarantula, from budget meltdowns to box office glory, the story behind the film is just as wild as what we see on screen. And maybe that's why it endures. Home Alone isn't just Kevin's story, it's ours. It's the chaos of family, the madness of the holidays, and the reminder that even when everything goes wrong, we can still find laughter. So the next time you watch Kevin scream into the mirror or outsmart two burglars, remember this: the real story behind Home Alone is even crazier than the movie itself.